Good afternoon and welcome to this meeting of the Finance and Risk Committee of the Barbican Centre Board. Please note that this meeting is being recorded and the recording of the public section of this meeting shall be uploaded to the City Corporation website for up to 1 civic year. Turning to item 1, which are apologies. I've had apologies received from the chair today, Tyson Brooke, so our Deputy Chair Mark Page will be chairing this meeting. I've also had apologies from Alderman Sir Nicholas Lyon and Aaron D'Souza, who confirmed that they'll be joining online and observing the meeting online. So, would you like to say a few words?
Nice to see you all online. Welcome, and we wish continued recovery to Thijs Brooke. I think on item 2, members' declaration, I have a declaration because when we talk about music, my partner works in the classical music industry with organisations that at least aspire to do business with Barbican, but since we don't have any business to decide on there, then I think that's fine. Are there any other declarations? 10 o'clock.
Thank you, Chair. So item 3 at the minutes, and these are to approve the public minutes and non-public summary of the last meeting held on the 23rd of June, and these are from page 5.
Comments, questions? Then they are approved.
Thank you, Chair. So turning to item 4 is the internal audit update, and this is an information item starting on page 9, noting that appendices 1 to 3 to non-public and under agenda item 9 later on in the agenda. That blocks.
Yes. Automatic.
Thank you. So I'll just give a very brief overview. So this is a position statement in relation to work that's been recently completed and an overview of the open recommendations that we've followed up to assess progress. I'll just say a brief word about the health and safety audit that was recently completed. So we do give a limited assurance opinion overall in relation to that, but in our report we do note that, like, the progress that has been made by the team. But I think, hopefully members will recognise that and colleagues will agree that this is sort of, this assurance assessment that we've given is very much in line with where things currently stand. There's still a significant amount of work to do in relation to health and safety management. So, the direction of travel is positive, but there's still quite a bit to do. So it's not. I'd ask that the committee don't be particularly alarmed by that limited assurance rating. It's just commensurate with where things actually stand. In relation to follow-up work that we've undertaken, you'll see from the table just below paragraph 5, where we followed up on progress to implement recommendations. We've not found too many that have actually been implemented. So, we do work with colleagues to try and make sure that the action that's required is at the front of people's minds. But as the table shows, we're not finding that those actions have actually been completed in accordance with the previously agreed dates. So we do need to see a little bit more momentum on implementing those issues from colleagues. And that's really all I wanted to say about the report. So if there are any questions that we can take under this public part of the report, then be happy for those.
Sure. I mean, obviously, there's as Kate was saying, there's a number of papers coming, confidential session, talking about the work ongoing. But since we are in public session and it is saying limited assurance on health and safety, then we probably ought to comment on that in this session as well.
Sure. Now, if I pick up, so the health and safety piece, obviously, health and safety prerequisite of any art centre for all of us. We have had a situation where we were under capacity. We're still under capacity. We're in an improving situation. In the room, we've got colleagues who are dedicated in this space. Significant progress made, but a long way to go. And I think for this committee to really get that balance right between risk and expenditure in terms of pace, we'll come to it later, but there are certain recommendations that we'd like to accelerate to actually get us beyond the limited into the next stage of tolerance. But it's been a helpful audit, and in terms of the way working with the city, actually helping externally to identify the relationship between here and the city, I think is better than ever on the health and safety stuff. working with our colleague Oliver Sanandez. So we'll come to it in more detail later. And just to say, in terms of on the follow-ups, that isn't a surprise to us. We've been working through that. I know, Bo, on the business continuity, we actually had someone from the city here earlier working through what were blockages at the city side, what were blockages here, what were capacity things. So absolutely take Matt's point. We want to speed up with that, but there have been a few things which have inhibited progress on both in both venues, I think.
And on health and safety, I know that we have remedial things like extra people trolling and managing certain situations. Does that count as, so that doesn't really address an internal audit issue? That's a kind of short-term remedial thing. Is there a gap there between, or is that something that you would consider to be adequate in addressing a health and safety issue? You're looking more sort of policies thing.
So we do consider like actions that are being taken as sort of either compensatory controls. We perhaps describe some of those sort of interventions, compensatory controls, whereas really what we're looking towards is a sustainable position where we're designed to provide that sort of optimum control. So yes, we'll like totally recognise things that are measures that are being taken at the moment, but still like working towards the overall improvement of the design.
And 2030 is our brave new world, as you know, post sort of a lot of the newer work, and some of the stuff that wasn't baked into this building will actually come through, but we will have to continue to have management interventions until that point involving people as opposed to actually the design piece. But 2030 can't come soon enough.
Any other questions? We have one. Right. We have one audit area where we're complete.
I'm happy to just briefly update on the financial ones. I think the learning for me on this is to allocate time so that we can demonstrate that it wasn't a one-off for audit. So some of the timeframes we've done work across them, and we've demonstrated that we've achieved it, but they can't say that it wasn't just a one-off, and we've got to show quarter-on-quarter improvement. And so that's why some of them haven't been kicked off. Work is being done, but we can't give that reassurance on a longer term.
Good. Okay, thank you. Then we'd note that paper on item 5. I've not been, and Kate, you haven't been noted any questions related. I think the rest of the agenda is confidential because we have a lot of confidential material there. It's probably worth saying that we are, since there was a public discussion in the Finance Committee about Barbican finances, that we will be addressing the budget situation and remedial measures there as well in more detail. But for now, is there any other comments or questions?
I'm just going to ask if members are content to exclude the public for the remaining items of business on agenda item 7. Agenda item 7. Agreed. Okay. So there'll be a short pause whilst I stop the recording.
Thank you.
Those questions in finance commission. Like you said.